Congresswoman Lauren Boebert here. For the last year, it has been such an honor to represent each and every one of you in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District. I ran for office to preserve our God-given liberties and freedom and deliver real results. Today, I want to update you on what we were able to accomplish together for the 3rd District in 2021. First, it has been a priority for myself and my amazing team to meet with you, hear from you, and whenever we can, go to bat for you. In that effort, we've worked over 655 cases for constituents as they've encountered issues with federal agencies and secured more than $400,000 in federal benefits to which they were entitled. If you or someone you know is having an issue with the VA, Social Security Administration, IRS, or other federal agencies, please contact my office. We are here to help you. I also know I can't represent you if I don't know what's on your mind. That's why we've had over 460 meetings with constituents and 62 mobile office hours. Accessibility to our services is important, so I'd encourage you to go to my website, boebert.house.gov, and sign up to get news updates from my office. We send out a weekly email with our mobile office hours, as well as a weekly recap on how I'm serving you. I've also been delivering on some other important victories for rural Colorado. I led the Colorado federal delegation in securing emergency assistance to get I-70 repaired and reopened following this year's catastrophic mudslides. I secured $13 million for the U.S. Forest Service to address bark beetle infestations that have ravaged Colorado and contributed to catastrophic wildfires. I secured $10 million for the Indian Irrigation Fund for the benefit of the Southern Ute Tribe's Pine River Indian Irrigation Project. I secured an important win for 6 counties in the San Luis Valley by ensuring data from their new radar system is incorporated into the National Weather Service system. For over a year, bureaucrats prevented the $1.8 million spent by local communities for a new radar system from being implemented and utilized. We fixed that. I introduced a bill and led a pressure campaign that resulted in the Biden regime dropping its plan to give illegal immigrants separated at the border $450,000 checks. I worked with my colleagues to fix and pass the National Defense Authorization Act. That meant removing red flag laws, removing provisions requiring women to register for the Selective Service, removing massive land grabs in Colorado, and removing numerous woke provisions from the first version of the NDAA to ensure that our military remains the most lethal and effective force for freedom on earth. I led the charge and worked with Governor Polis as well as Senators Hickenlooper and Bennett when extremists wanted to move the Bureau of Land Management out of Grand Junction and back to the swamp. As a result, Grand Junction will be the Bureau's West headquarters, and 36 good-paying jobs will stay there, up from the initial 16 announced by the Biden regime. During this fiscal year's appropriation process, I led and utilized every available avenue to deliver on our priorities. I authored and introduced 106 appropriations amendments, more than any other member of Congress, to fight for the 3rd District and the American people. I'm proud of our wins, and I'm even more proud that I did it without compromising on principles. In fact, I was given an A+ rating and a 100% Liberty score from Conservative Review because I voted conservative, just the way I promised you I would. Sadly, this 2021 saw Nancy Pelosi close off the House of Representatives to the American people. And she also closed down the floor from receiving votes on common sense policies from conservative legislators. For example, I introduced the AIM Act, America's Infrastructure Modernization Act, which would have addressed our nation's infrastructure needs without raising taxes or increasing the debt. Unfortunately, not a single Democrat signed on to this bill. You see, in the swamp, compromise means when Republicans cave to Democrats. This partisan governance didn't stop me from introducing 24 bills and resolutions and co-sponsored nearly 200 pieces of legislation. Let me tell you about just a few of those. I introduced the Active Forest Management, Wildfire Prevention, and Community Protection Act, the most comprehensive forest management bill in decades to prevent wildfires, invest in rural economies, remove beetle-killed trees that serve as kindling, and protect the environment. I introduced the Western Water Security Act to protect private property rights, prevent federal water grabs, and help ensure an abundant supply of clean water for future generations. I introduced the Protecting American Energy Jobs Act to repeal Biden's job-killing executive mandates, ensure reliable and affordable energy supplies, and foster economic growth and job creation in our rural communities. And I introduced the World Health Organization Accountability Act, the Secure the Southern Border Act, and legislation to designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. I also co-sponsored some amazing bills like the Afghanistan Accountability Act, the Medical Freedom in the Military Act, the No Taxpayer Funding for Abortion Act, the Defending Veterans Second Amendment Rights Act, and the Beat China Act. Securing our freedoms, delivering results, and legislating conservatively, that's what I promised to do, and I'm proud that my record reflects that I've done just that. Thanks for following. God bless you. God bless Colorado, and may God bless America in 2022.